Okay, hi everyone. Amazing here. Welcome to the second part of this Excel dashboard tutorial. If you've not watched this, the first part where we actually arranged our dashboard colors and the background, so go ahead and watch the first video. I'm going to be leaving a link beneath this very video under the description button. So right now, here are the colors we actually use for this dashboard. So just go ahead and actually watch that video for you to understand what goes right here. So now, before we begin, let me just take a little time to give you a tour on this dashboard. So now this is the dashboard we can actually create from the scratch as we had been doing right here on this channel, and we have this particular search right here that powers the information we have right here about our employees. So I told you formally before now that it is about HR analytics dashboard. I know what data would look like. So right now, if I actually go ahead and clear the name of this particular employee right here, what do we have? We have nothing displayed right here because this particular search bar powers the whole information we have right here. Okay, let me just go ahead and search for the names that is not really there. I'm going to search for your name. And you know, your name is not anybody's name in our organization. There is no way it can display anything. So right now, if I go ahead and hit this is what I have. I have this empty boxes right here which says employee not found retried. That is beautiful. And if I go ahead and search for a name that is actually really existing, what do I have? I have the name to be displayed. I'm going to go ahead and paste the name here that really exists in our database, and you're going to see what happened right here. It's going to change the whole narrative right here, and you can see the employee age is 49, and the religion is Hindu, the nationality is Indian, married, department management, and active, and the phone number and the employment here we have it right here. That is beautiful. Now you can see our dashboard is actually protected. We can't move anything from here, and we have our filter hidden. We can actually place our filter and see how the dashboard looks like. No, the dashboard is going to update as soon as we keep on actually activating filters on it. That is beautiful, right? So we have more filters you can actually take advantage of to use and all of that. So this is beautiful, right? So right now, if you've not been a subscriber on my YouTube channel before, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and let's start to create this from scratch. Okay, welcome back. So we're gonna actually create a little effect we have right here. Let me take you to the previous one to understand what we're about to create. So right now we have to add this very effect, those particular effects we have right here. Oh, they might look some kind of simple, but not really. You have to stick around to see how it works. So right now, all I'm just gonna do right now is just to go to insert, and from insert I go to shape, and from shape I pick this right here. And what do you do? If I draw like this, it can actually get to some kind of, not to be the way it should be. I want it to be on a straight line. So for me to do that, I'm just going to actually click on it, and after I might have done that, I'm going to hold on my shift key and I actually drag it. So before I leave my shift key, I'm going to release my mouse, and that is beautiful. We've just gotten this done. So next I'm going to right click on it and go to shape, format shape right there, and this is exactly what I have. So right now we have to actually make sure we crank this up a little bit. That's the weight. We make it a little bit thicker. So we have this thickness. I love it. So I'm going to go for the grid line. And if I go to this grid line, what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to remove those tops from here. I'm going to say cancel. I'm going to remove these tops. And I'm going to give this particular part the background of the dashboard. So now, here is the background. I'm going to choose this right here, and that is beautiful, but this is not what I really wanted. I want a very nice effect on it. I'm going to actually have to choose this particular linear right. So beautiful, I love that. So I'm just going to move it a little bit down to this end, and I'm going to actually make sure I bring this down for we to actually see it so well. So let me just actually come right here and zoom right to our screen so that we can see it better. So right now I'm going to actually have to reduce the transparency right from here. So if I have it reduced, you're going to see it's going to add some kind of effect in it. So right now, the next thing I'm going to do right now is just to click right here and make sure it's on 70%, which is good. I love this, right? So this is beautiful. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is just to have this duplicated. So I'm going to have it duplicated, Control D. Yes, we have this duplicated. This is what we need to do. So the next one, what I'm going to do right now, I'm just going to reduce the thickness of this one, which is the weight. I'm going to have it reduced. Something like this will be okay. And what I'm going to do to this right now, I'm just going to hold on my shift key. I'm going to drag it down to this end. I'm going to actually have to bring this one to the top level right here. That is good. So now we have this, right? So what I'm going to do right now is that we are really cool with this, but not too cool with this, right? So I'm going to actually have to go to the top level right here. I'm going to have to bring this circle. And once I have the circle brought, I'm just going to make sure we hold our shift key. If we want to actually drag that, else it's going to actually turn into something we don't like. Okay, we're going to go back to insert, and from insert I'm going to hit this key. Okay, here, this is it. So we just hold the control key and make it a little. So I think I'm cool with this right now. I'm going to turn off the for the line, I'm just gonna actually put it on white. And for the fill color, I'm gonna have the fill color on white as well. That is beautiful. Now to pick it up again, when your mouse is on it like this, just make sure you make a move and you have it settled down right here. So this is beautiful. I think I love this. So now on this one right here, I'm just gonna come this way and make sure I reduce the transparency beyond what you think. So now this is what we really need to have right here. I love this. So now the next thing I'm going to do right now is just to make sure I have something beautiful laid down. So before I do that, I'm just going to actually make sure I have this and actually copy this. Just hold your control and actually move it and release your mouse before you release your control. And what I'm going to do right now, I'm just going to actually turn it around. So to flip it around, this is what we're going to do. Just make sure you go to what? Go to format and actually go and rotate, and we'll rotate it, flip it horizontally. This is exactly what we wanted. And after we have done that, just click right here and right click on it and go to what? Format shape. And we have this back again. So what are we going to do? We have to make sure we put it on dash. So we have this dash type right here on it. This is beautiful. I love this, right? And we just have to actually reduce the transparency a little bit. So now we just have to do the transparency, and you can see we have more appearances of this. So now we're going to put the transparency right here. So this is done. So I'm going to show you one particular part. We have to actually make sure we hold control and actually make sure we actually have this put together. But it's not really much possible, but it's possible in one way. Just go to the top level and actually go to this particular select pickers. So this is actually customized. Just go to select objects, and once you click on that, you can select this whole object at the same time. I'm just going to select them at the same time. So if you know, if you don't know where this feature are, what this feature is right on your I'm gonna have to group this first. So now it's being grouped together. So if you don't know where this feature I've just used is, what you just gotta do is for you to actually right click right here and go to customize ribbon and actually search on this particular box. Go to all what? Go to all commands, and where you can actually find this is for you to actually write down to where we have your S. So once you keep going, you're gonna have your S, and we look for select selection, select objects. Now select object right here, we have it, and you actually have to put it right here, and that is okay, you have it. So now we have just gotten this. The next we're going to do right now, we have to actually make sure we select, just press your escape right here, it select that particular object for you from the mouse, and actually have it duplicated, or you can hold your control and make a shift and actually have it right here. Now we have gotten this here. This is beautiful. So that is all nice. So we just done with this. If we look at the previous one, we have something very similar, and we are about to create the next part of our dashboard. So we need to actually get some headers right here, but we don't have to reinvent the wheel. Instead, we're just going to go to our dashboard, the main dashboard right here, and copy the total department, total management, and all this right here. But we can't copy it because this is highly protected. So all I need to do right now is just to copy the password from here. This is the password in case you have this downloaded. Just copy the password, or you type in the password. As you can see it right on the screen, you can pause and actually type it. And once you have you're back to the dashboard, you click and actually go to unprotect sheet, and here you have it. So you have to put the right password. Let's say I have a space before I actually have this right on it, so it's going to tell me that I'm not actually bring it now. This is what it is. The password I supply is actually not what it is. So I'm just going to go back and actually have the right password in it, and I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to have the password pasted right here, and here we go. We're going to have it unlocked right now. So now we can actually click on it, and what I need to do is just to copy all this from here and take it to my main dashboard right now. So we have all this right here. We need to get it to that department and managers and non-managers right here. So what we need to do is just for we to go to analysis sheets right here. And actually we have to, what I'm going to do right now is just to copy this particular pivot table we already have right here. But to the benefit of those that are just coming for the first time, I'm just going to actually insert a new pivot table on a new sheet, and you can see how we do that. So here the database we are actually using to get this created. I'm just going to go and click on the top level right here and go to insert and insert my first pivot table. If I click on it right here, you see this particular little box pops up. So now here we go. We want a new sheet right now because I don't want to go on the previous sheet we've used. I'm just going to click on OK, and it's going to default to a new sheet right for me. I'm going to make sure I have it zoomed so that you can see it closely what I'm doing right here. And now what do we need to actually show? So we want to show total department. So what we need to do right now is just to go to the new sheet we just got created, click on the pivot table. I'm going to search for department right here. So here I have my department. I'm just going to click on it right here, And here we go, we have our department. So now maybe we might still gonna have a new department. So in the future, we might still have more departments. So look at what I do. I'm going to say total right here. And the reason I'm going to do this is because if we have more departments, it's going to actually accumulate and it's going to just go on the new, it's going to accumulate to the previous one and it's going to count. So I'm just going to say use my count A function right here. This is what I love to do always. I'm going to say count A and I'm going to hit my top key and have this. I'm going to select this beyond where we have the department. I'm just going to actually stop it right here and actually hit enter. And here I have my 9th department. So the reason why I have it done like this is because I'm going to have a filter on it. Every single time we actually click on filter, this number is going to change based on how many departments we have on that particular year, month, or quarters, whatsoever. Now you get it, right? So what we need to do right now, we don't have to do this over and over again to go to the data and actually create a new pivot table. All I need to do is just to make sure I have this pasted right here and actually create a new analysis from this. So let us see what we're going to create next. So next is actually how many managers do we have and how many non-managers do we have. So go back to the analysis and actually what we need to do right now is just for we to actually check the manager. I think it's not manager. We have to look at what it is before we actually go ahead and actually press anything right here. The column we need right now is is job level column we need to actually extract something from. So when we go back right here right now, we can actually search for job level to make it easier for us. So we have a job level and we just have to make sure we drag the job level right here and remove the department away from here. So once we have the job level, all we need to do is the count of the job, the managers and the non-managers. So here we have it beautifully and it's very, very simple and easy to create. So what we need to do right now, I can actually go ahead and have this duplicated. Just make sure you highlight all of them and actually make sure you move them to the top level right here nicely. That is beautiful. So the next thing I'm going to do right now, you can see my formula bar is not being turned on. I'm going to make sure I have it zoomed first of all. So I'm going to zoom it closely. So now we can all see it no matter what kind of screen we are using to watch this. So I'm going to go right here and turn my formula bar on, go to view and hit on formula bar. Here I have my formula. I can actually go right here and click on department and I just go here and put on my equal to and go to this particular sheet 1 and have this right here. This is the value I need to be there. And right here, I'm just going to, I need the total managers. So I'm just going to say equal to and bring out my total manager right there. Here is it. And the non-managers is going to be this as well. I'm just going to hit on my equal to as well. I'm going to bring down this right here. And beautifully, we have this done, right? What I'm going to do right now is just to take the formatting we have from here down to this particular aspect. So here we go. We're going to hit this. I'm going to double click because I want to use it as much as I can before I actually disable it. So I'm going to actually have it. I'm going to have it. That is beautiful. So I might not have it aligned equally. I'm just going to click it right here. I'm going to go to the top level and have them aligned equally on the same line. I'm going to say align bottom. So maybe I think this is nice. So really we have this nicely done. I'm going to put it on 100% so that you can see what we have just done on the full screen. So on a full screen, this is what we've just gotten. So when we compare it to what we have right here, you can see we are almost on the very best way of our dashboard right here. So the next we're going to be looking at is actually on a quarterly basis, how many employees we really have. So how do we do that? It's very simple and easy. So we're just going to go to this particular new one right here and copy this job level. I told you we don't have to go back to the data and actually create this over and over again. I'm going to take it away from here. I'm going to have it pasted here right now. I'm going to paste it. So once I have it pasted, I'm going to just remove the job level right here. And what I need to do now, I'm just going to go down and find where we have our quarter. So do we really have our quarter right here? So yes, we have it right. I'm going to drag it down right here. Need to actually see what it is, if it is correct. Yeah, this is on a quarterly basis. This is how many employees we've just actually had on a quarterly basis, and filter is just going to respond to this. And what I need to do right now is just to create a pivot chart from here. Go to insert and insert this particular type of chart. This is the chart we need to actually insert. This is the column chart. And after we have inserted the column chart, we want to resize the column chart to make it some kind of little. Okay, I'm gonna remove so many of the axes right here. The title, I don't need it, and I don't need the total. Neither if I need this quote, I'm gonna have it hidden. Just make sure you give it a very nice formatting like this, and this particular grid line is just gonna turn off. So I'm just gonna make sure I make it a little bit smaller. I'm gonna actually have to cut it away from here and take it to my dashboard. And here I'm gonna have it pasted and actually make sure I have it at the right place right now. For the first time, I'm gonna have this actually cleared out. Now it's gone, so we're gonna bring it back where we need it. So now to have it formatted pretty fine, I'm just gonna actually make sure I zoomed closely so that we can see what we are doing right here. Okay, now we are all here. So can we see this now? So I'm just going to double click on it and have this. So once we have this, so what we need to do is just to make sure we turn off the field color and the outline color is being turned off. So we make sure it sits rightly on this particular aspect here. So I'm just going to actually drag this down to this end. So we have it nicely done. So this is beautiful. I'm just going to make sure I have this kind of showing very much than what we have right now. Okay, I think this is going to be better. So now we have to change the color of this particular chart right here to something very beautiful. Let us go and look at the color we use on the right dashboard, and you can see the color we just used, just the orange color, right? Okay, we have to click on this particular aspect and find the color. If we cannot find the color, we have to create the color. This is the first thing I'm going to be using, that particular color palette right here on this particular second part of this dashboard. I'm going to go to color, and where is the color? I'm going to have to find the color, and the color is this particular color right here. So we need to copy the color code right here. I'm going to copy the particular the first number. I'm going to have to type this 5129, and we're going to go back again. So remember 5129, I'm going to have it clicked, and I'm going to go to what I'm going to go right here. I'm going to hit on this particular more color, and once I have that, so I'm going to have this one pasted in here. The first one I have copied, I'm going to paste it. Okay, we have 51, and here we have 21 right here. 51, 21, we have the color exactly the way it is. Now can you see the color right now? If I actually deselect it, you can see this is the color that we just have. Here is the color code that we just actually used right there. So learn how to do this and actually check out my color palette on the description box and actually use that for your own advantage. So beautifully we have this done, and we are done from here. We can go ahead and actually have the I think we can have the data label right there. So we have the labels on top of it, and we have to make sure the label shows in a very nice color, and I'm going to actually make sure I have it right on this. So beautifully it's showing nicely, so we love this, right? So we are back on a full screen. This is what we have, and the next we're going to do right now is to take care of here. And if you look at what we have right here, the chart is a little bit different. So we're going to create our chart to look just like this. And how do we do that? Let me just write you on that as well. The very first thing we can do right now is just to make sure we have this highlighted. Once we have this highlighted, I'm just going to say Ctrl D, and what I just did right now is to have it duplicated. That duplicate, I'm just going to make sure I resize it a little bit smaller like this, and make sure I settle it down. I might not be certain to actually say this aligned properly. I'm going to click on this. I'm going to have this clicked as well. I'm going to go to the top level right here. I'm going to hit on this format, and what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to hit on this and I'm going to make it center. So that's centralized it for us, and we're going to make it top so that if it is not close to the top level, it's going to get close. Now we have it properly sitting right on it. Okay, now that we've gotten this done, so I'm just going to go right to the top level right here, hit on insert, and from insert, I'm going to hit on this particular little circle right here, which is oval. I'm going to click on it. I'm going to hold on my shift key. I'm going to actually make it this circle, and I'm going to release that. So I'm going to leave it this way and actually hold on my right click on it and hit on this, right? And once I have this right here, I'm going to say for fill, now fill. This is what I have right now. So right here, I'm going to actually make sure I give it a very nice color that's going to actually stand out on my dashboard. And I'm going to make it a little bit thicker. And once I have done that, I'm going to actually make sure the transparency is being reduced down to a level I feel like okay, I'm cool with. And this is beautiful. I love this one right here. And once I've done that, I'm going to copy this one now, hold my control and actually make sure I move it right here for now. I'm going to be leaving this right here. And for me to actually do this so well, I'm going to actually have to zoom closely so that we can all see what we are doing right here. So now we have this, right? So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to have to duplicate this. Hold on your control key and have it duplicated. I'm going to have to make sure I expand it again. Okay, fine. I've gotten this. So I'm going to hold on this one, hold on this as well. I'm going to actually make sure I have it on the middle. I'm going to have it in the middle, and I'm going to have to centralize it. And that is beautiful. So once I've done this particular centralization, I'm going to actually hold on this particular one as well. I'm going to actually make sure it is here. I'm going to hold this down and actually make sure I do the same thing I just did previously. So the center, centralize it and make it in the middle. So right now it's properly aligned. That is beautiful. This is the first thing we have to do to get this particular kind of chart we want to create it. Okay, watch out the next step. The next step is for me to go to the top level right here and actually hit on the same insert again and actually go on the same shape. And what I want to get right now is this particular line right here. And once I have that line, I'm going to actually click from here, from this dot. I'm going to hold on my shift key. I'm going to bring it down to the last dot right here. I have it connected. That is beautiful. So we need to actually give it the same color. I'm going to actually click right here and actually go on this and actually make sure I copy the formatting. Just copy, hold it format painter and actually have it here. And for now, I'm gonna actually have to reduce this a little bit. I make it some kind of thinner, and that is exactly what we need to do. So we want to actually make sure it is centralized. I'm gonna click on this. I'm gonna do the same thing I had done previously on the other ones. So I'm gonna make sure I have it centralized center, and I'm gonna have it in the middle as well. That is beautiful. So once we've done that, click away and actually go back and click on it. Once you have it clicked on, double it, and actually make sure you flip this around. So that is exactly what you need to do. Flip this around and see what it is. So now you flip it rightly. So I'm gonna actually have to move this so it touches here. Hold on your shift key and you have this and actually make sure you have it aligned properly. And now I'm gonna click on this again and do the same thing to it the way I had done before. So I'm just gonna make sure I make it center and here I'm gonna make it in the middle. So now we have everything centralized. So we are not done yet. We are almost there at the far end of this particular chart. So let us see what we really have there. So right on this chart, what we have right here analyzed is the age group. So we're going to analyze the age group and bring it right here and make sure the chart looks exactly just like this. So let us go and see how we can actually manage the age group in the other part of the video. So here we are again. I'm going to go for this particular part of it. So I'm just going to actually have to close this for now. And I'm going to copy this one right here, the pivot table. And I'm going to have it copied. Once I have it copied, I need to actually paste it somewhere around here and have it pasted. So once we have it pasted here, so we're going to put on our age group. So now we don't have the field list. I'm going to make sure the field list is active. So once we have the field list active, what we need to do right now is just to make sure we have this removed. And instead of that, I'm going to actually have to bring in my age group right here is actually categorized into age group. And now to have the kind of chart I want to have right now, we have to work around on this. So right now, I'm going to actually have to bring the count of the age group again because I want to make sure this one is default to what? Is default to percentage. So now I'm just going to make sure I have it on percentage. Go right here on percentage of column total and I have it on percentage. I'm going to format my percentage. Control 1 will help me to do that. And I'm going to put it on just one single decimal. Here we go on a percentage, you reduce it to 1 and we click on this OK, and finally we have something like this. But we cannot create chart with this because if we go ahead and actually insert a chart right now, I'm going to have this closed. If I go ahead and insert a chart for the first time, look at what I'm going to do. Hit here and go here and hit this particular type of chart. This is what we have. It's kind of weird, right? So we can't create chart from there. So what we need to do right now is just for we to link this particular path at the top level right here, and we're going to link this as well. We have this linked, and I'm going to actually make sure I bring them down so we have it, so we don't have to include this. So right now we can create our chart from here. What if we want to remove the count away from here because we don't need the count? I'm going to say Control H and I'm going to type count. Sorry for that. I'm going to say count. Okay, count of. So once I say count of, I'm going to actually replace all, and it replaced all of it for us. So now we have shutter header. I'm going to actually highlight it and go to the top level right here and go on that same chart I have before now. Now I have the nice chart I really wanted to use. I can actually minimize it from here, go, minimize it, and actually have to cut it away from here down to my main dashboard. So here we go. We are about to create the kind of chart we really wanted. So I'm going to have it pasted here. I'm going to still minimize it. So we bring it on. So now I'm going to remove this particular one, take the level off, and I'm going to actually double click on it. And I have this, I'm going to remove the field color, the border, and nothing is going to be added. So right now, this particular border we have around here, I'm going to have it removed. And now we have no border. So instead, we have something like this. I'm going to make sure I fit it in right here. But that is not really done the way I really wanted it. So what we need to do right now is to click right here and go to this particular part right here where we have this series shape. So we have to make sure we either reduce or we either add up to it to make it close, or we have to reduce it 100%. 90%. So now this is what we have. We've reduced this 90%. What I'm going to do right now is just to make sure I make my chart bigger. So now my chart is bigger. So we are almost there. So make it a little bit because I want to have space to click on. If I want to set this up, I'm just going to have space. So now we have this. So for me to have my space, I'm just going to reduce the chart a little bit. Oh, we have some kind of template with it. Okay, now, yeah, we have to make sure we do it this way. I'm gonna make my chart some kind of bigger. So right now, what I need to do right now is to centralize it. Just click on this particular card. This not the last one, the card on top. Make sure you go to the top level and do the same thing we had done before, and make sure you centralize your chart. So center, and we have to make it in the middle. So right now we have something beautiful like this. That is nice. We have something good. So if you remember, we have this copied somewhere, and I'm going to go ahead and actually bring it, have it duplicated. I'm just going to copy it. So Control C will help me copy it and actually drive back to where we have a chart, and I'm actually going to paste it right here right now. And once I have it pasted, look what I'm going to do. But before then, we want to change the color of this particular chart to something very nice like what we have in the previous dashboard. This is the colors we have, right? The color combination we have is this particular color. So we want to change the color. So for the first color, I'm going to make sure I have this along clicked. I'm going to go to the color right here. I'm going to change the color to this particular color. So nicely done, right? I think this particular bigger one is going to take on this particular color that is very huge. And we'll click on this. We're going to take this particular color and have it for it. And that is nice. So what about this other color? What did this? So I think it's the green one. Do we have it right here? Yes, of course we do. We're going to click on it and have the green color that look like green. I think it's green. Yeah, we have it right there. So we have gotten this right now. What I'm going to do right now is just to have this selected. Once I have it selected, I'm going to move it right here. I'm going to make sure I have it bigger, make it a little bit smaller again, and surround it with the chart. And I'm going to make it some kind of smaller. So make it smaller. So I surround with the chart. So the chart is almost ready. So go ahead and actually select this, click on this, and we're about to centralize this particular one right on our chart. So like just like what we've done before, make sure we centralize it, and we are beautifying our chart. So go back again and make it in the middle, and we have just gotten the chart created the way it should be. So right now what we need to do is just to make sure we have it on 100%. Let's see what we've just created. So zooming back to the normal side, this is how our chart looks like, but we have to get the legends right here, but we don't have to create the legend from the scratch, but I'm going to show you how to create the legend. So here are the legend right here. I'm just going to zoom to make it closer so that we can see it better. So now here are the legends we have right here. You know how we did this. So what we need to do is to represent this particular shape right here. Go to shape and go to insert and insert this shape right here, and make sure you represent the color of this and double that until you have the three colors. And after you might have done that, you can go back to your analysis page and actually make sure you bring all this on right here and make sure it is correct. That is exactly what we've done, and I believe this is very much simple that you can all do. So I'm just going to actually have to duplicate this and bring it on right here. So when I have it on right here, I'm going to actually make sure I double click on it and actually make sure I bring on the value that is peculiar to this. But if you can see, we don't have a formula bar turned on. I'm going to go ahead and turn my formula bar on right now. Here is my formula bar. I have it turned on. I'm going to go to get from 50 to 60, the value that's peculiar to that. I'm going to say equal to, and I'm going to hit on that right sheet. 50 to 60 is here. I have the value. I'm going to make sure I click on this, and I'm going to go ahead and bring from 40 to 50 right back on it. So 40 to 50, here we go, we have it. And from 31 to 40, this is exactly what we need to do to have all the value right on it. So we got it, right? So this is exactly what we need to do. The next we're going to do right now is to get a percentage that is peculiar to all this. So we need to just get it copied right and have it right here. So after that, we can actually centralize our work. So we just need to get a percentage right on this. So right now, because this is actually grouped together, we can actually format it all at once. So I'm just going to go to the top level right here. I'm going to make sure I go to home. From home, I'm going to make it bold. And I'm going to actually make sure I select this right for it. I can actually have this color. So if I decide to, I think that is okay. And we can actually go ahead and actually format this as well. So we can format it, make sure we have it on bold and have this color for it. So if we are cool with this particular color, that is exactly what it is. So right now you can see this is beautiful. So we have one more thing to do. I'm going to go to insert, and from insert, I'm going to actually go pick on this particular circle. Little circle, I'm going to actually have to drag it and make it some kind of dot inside here. And this is exactly what it is. So make sure it's centralized and actually do the same formatting we had done previously on the other part of the dashboard. So we have it, and we're gonna make it some kind of white, and it's a little dot inside here, and it's gonna make our chart look beautiful just like that. So now we have this. Let us put it on 100% focus and see what it is that we have. On a full screen view, this is what we've just actually created. That is beautiful, right? So the next thing we're going to actually work on right now is how we can actually create a chart we have right here. Before we do that, let us look at what chart we have right there. This chart is showing the faith, how many Christians, Muslims we have in our department. That is exactly what we need to actually go ahead and show right now. I'm going to go back right here and hit on my sheet, and we have to get is right on that particular we have to copy this again. And once we have it copied, guess what? We just need to shift a little bit right here and have it pasted right here. And we just need to actually turn on the field list, and we have to get religion or faith right here. We just need to look for that. We have to check for where we have religious faith. We just have to drag it down, and we have it right here. Do we need the percentage? Let us just go and check about that. Yes, I guess we need that. So we have to bring the percentage down. I'm just going to bring this down as well. It's just going to default to count the same thing. And we have to right click and do the same thing we had done previously and actually make sure we have it on that particular column total on percentage. And you know what we used to do? We control one and we have it on just one single decimal. Here we go, nicely. Oh, we should have done that for every part of it. But right now we can actually go ahead and get it from our printer, get it right here, and actually make sure you have it all over. So that is beautiful. We've just gotten this done right now. And the next thing we're going to do is to create our own type of chart. I know what we need to do to actually get a kind of chart created. We want to create it. So just hit right here and you can drag it down to this end right now because those are what we needed. So we have it right. So we can go ahead and create a chart. I'm going to show you the kind of chart I use for that. So we go to insert, and from insert we hit the same type of chart we've used previously. And I'm going to make it make it a little bit smaller. So we have it. So smaller, right? So the job level, we're going to turn it off. We're going to turn this particular legend off. We don't need that. So I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. And for now, I'm going to take it to my dashboard until we actually get to the dashboard before we start formatting it. So we have it pasted right here. And right now, I'm just going to actually have to zoom. Make sure I zoom. We have a very full screen so that we can actually see what we're creating on the very small screen. So we have it right here. And what I'm going to do right now is just to make sure I double click on it and actually turn off every single border and the field color. I'm going to turn it off. Oh, sorry for that. I don't want me to do this. So I'm going to turn this particular border off. And here we go. We have this right here. And what I'm going to do right now, I'm just going to make sure I go right here and actually make it some kind of closed. Yeah, this is what I have. And what I need to do right now is just to make sure I make it a little bit bigger. And I'm going to actually make sure I bring it to the top level right here. And I have it here. Click on that chart. And once we have it clicked on, so what we're going to do right now, I'm just going to make it some kind of a little bit bigger again. So we have it right here. I click on the card we have right on it so that we can centralize it nicely. So you remember what we've just been doing to centralize our work, centralize it and put it right in the middle. It's not gonna work. So we don't have to use middle right here. So we can Ctrl Z because we have this bigger card. So now we have Ctrl Z, we have centralized it, but we can't put it on middle. So we have done that. And what we need to do again is to give it the same color we had given it before. So just click off, and after clicking off, click back on it and actually make sure you change the color, the inner color. So we have to change the color. I'm going to come right here. I'm going to give it this particular type of color. I select it and nicely I'm going to select this as well and change the color to this particular color and have this color. Make sure your color rhymes with all colors that you have on your dashboard. So right now, if you look at this color we have right here, it correlates with this particular type of color. So right here, I'm just going to actually make sure I actually copy this and have it right on this. So beautiful. We have something like this, right? So what I'm going to do right now, I'm just going to actually copy this away from there. I'm going to bring it on right here and I'm going to actually make sure I expand it so that it's actually going to sit right on it, circling it. So it's not really well. I'm going to Ctrl Z will help me do that. So Ctrl Z. Okay, right now what I'm going to do right now, I'm just going to hold on my Shift key. I'm going to actually make sure I make it some kind of little bit. Okay, click on the chart itself. Once you have the chart itself clicked on, you can centralize it on the chart itself. So I'm just going to say center. I'm going to say middle. right on the chart, and here it centralized it and put it right in the middle for us. So I have one more to do. I'm just going to click on it and have it double again, and hit on my shift key right now will make me to make it very much circle, and I'm going to leave it like that. I'm going to actually have to put it right here, and this time around I'm going to hit on this particular chart and actually do the same thing to this as well. So it makes our chart very much more standard and actually readable. Put it on the middle. So now what I need to do is just to come to this particular part right here. You select and actually click on this particular one alone, and actually come right to the top level and reduce the opacity and make it some kind of thicker and brighter so that it can show very much well. So let us go and look at the final result we have right here. Can you see that? It's some kind of this way. Okay, I'm going to actually increase it. It got some kind of thicker. That is beautiful, right? So we have this. So for the first time, let us put this at on 100% and we see what we've just actually created. So we can actually copy the legend right here. Right now we can see it on a full screen. So I have the legend right here. We don't want to go back and start reinventing the wheel again. I'm gonna have to draw the legend right here. And here we see we have the Christian right here. We have the Muslim to be much more bigger because we have no slide actually on it right now. We have no filter. This is what we're gonna have. And now what I'm gonna do right now, I'm gonna do this. Just have it doubled and have this doubled, and it's going to be very easy. I'm going to show you all at once, and I'm going to do the remaining one on behind the scene. Turn off this or turn on that. I'm going to go right on this particular Christian. Make sure you have it highlighted and go right on it. I'm going to have my equal to right there. For the Christians, right on it. Numbers of Christian is this particular number, and we're going to do that to the Muslims as well. So now we can see what we have. The numbers of the Christians, no organization. The numbers of the Muslims, no organization. We all have them right here. I'm going to actually make sure I expand it so we can see it well. So right now, what we need to do right now is to just make sure we copy the formatting we have from here down to what we really need. So I'm just going to go home. I'm going to go to copy. I'm going to have it right on it. Oh, I think it's not working fine. Okay, what we're gonna do, just gonna, okay, we can't copy it, right? I'm just gonna make sure I actually have it on bold. I have it on bold and I have it right here. It's very simple. We don't need to do any extraordinary work. So we have it, and beautifully we have something like this. So we go on 100% view and see what we've created. So on a full screen view, we are almost at the far end of this dashboard. Beautifully, we have all this done and we love it, right? I believe you love it too. So now what we're going to do right now is just to create a chart we have right here, and what we need to do is just to go look at what chart we really have right here. I want to make the chart to stand up just like this. So what are we going to do? I'm going to copy the head away from here to that particular part so we can actually go ahead and get the analysis done and have the chart actually on our from the new dashboard. So here I have it nicely done. So what I'm going to do right now is just to go for designation. I want to see how many numbers of in each designation. So we go right sheet here, and what we need to do is just to copy this and have it copied. We go copy, and I'm going to actually go ahead and actually drag it in. I'm going to go make sure I have that actually moved. I'm going to actually have to paste this right here, and what we need to actually get is designation. I'm going to say D, and here we have it. I'm just going to click on OK, and I'm going to remove the fit away from here. I don't need the fit. And for designation, I don't need the percentage. I'm going to take it off, and here is what I just need right here. I'm going to go ahead and create a very straight chart because we don't need to do any extraordinary thing right here, and this is the kind of chart I really wanted. But if you look at what is going on right here, it's a little bit weird. I'm going to show you why I said it was kind of a little bit weird. So I'm going to have this closed right now. Close it. So we don't want to see that. So right now, if you look at a chart, is upside down. It's upside down. I'm going to take this off. I'm going to take this off as well. I'm going to take this off. I'm going to actually turn it off, hide it. So now it's upside down. We are having our staff down here, and right here we're having it at the top, and the executive is going down. So what do we need to do? Make sure you just right click on it and go to fixed axis. Once you actually have that done, so you can see category in reverse order, just click on it and you have this. So now go ahead and actually select this away from here right now. And the next thing I'm going to do right now to make the chart to be right, I'm just going to go right here and right click on it and actually go on sorting and start from the largest to the smallest. So what do we have? Nicely, right? So we have something beautiful like this. I think the chart is actually well created. So I'm just going to make sure I move my chart to the right part of the dashboard. I'm going to cut it away from here. I'm going to go to the dashboard. I'm going to have my chart placed right here. and that is exactly what it is. So Control V will help me paste my chart in here, and I'm gonna make my chart some kind of sit well right on the dashboard. Gonna make sure it sit tightly. Okay, beautiful. And what I'm gonna do right now is just to double click on it and actually make sure I turn it off. So we have this. So I want to take care of this particular chart right here. What I'm gonna do right now is just to zoom closely and see how we can actually format the chart the way it should be. So right now we zoomed, and that is too much. So let's see it on the screen fully. Okay, okay, now we can see what we have right here. We want to actually make sure this is actually readable. So we want to go back and actually go to home and actually go here and actually make sure we have it brightly displayed. That is beautiful. Now we need this particular pad right here, and for now I'm gonna actually deselect this and create my own because I want some kind of a little effect in it. So I'm gonna show you how you can create here. So I'm gonna change the color right here. I'm gonna go right here and have the color changed. Go here, and now we go to the color. And what color do we wanna have on our chart? So I believe we're gonna have this type of color. Right. Oh, why do we? I forgot the color using it. I'm so sorry for that. Okay, I love that. I think this is the color we need to use right now. And once we have this color used, what I'm gonna do right now is that we can't use the color directly from there. We need to actually put it on the grid line. And what do we do to do that? So I'm just gonna turn off this so we don't want the border color. And it's so I'm gonna go right here. I'm gonna go for the grid line. So gradient fill. So the gradient fill is cool. So we want to put it on this. So I'm gonna actually make sure we have this right here. I'm gonna select this and I'm gonna have the color I really wanted. That is the color I wanted right on it. So we can make the color come here and we can come back right here and select the same color we have for the card. So we select it and here we have the kind of effect I really want to have. And what I'm going to do right now is just to make sure I don't actually put it on 100%. I'm going to make sure I have it actually reduced and it has some kind of effect on our dashboard. This is exactly what we have done in the previous one. I'm going to click on the dashboard as well. So I'm going to actually make sure I bring it down a little bit so that the designation, which is the title, will show up very well. So I've gotten this ready. So the next thing I'm going to do right now, I'm just going to click on the top level right here and actually have my grid line created on my own. I'm going to go for the line. I'm going to pick up the line. I'm going to come right here. I'm going to hold my shift key right on it. Hold my shift key and drag it down a little bit. I'm going to stop it right here. I'm going to stop it right there. And I'm going to actually have to crank up this a little bit now. I think I'll put it on one. It's going to be thicker. So what I'm going to do right now is just to make sure I select a color for it. I'm going to select this particular kind of color for it. So once I have that color selected, I'm going to actually make sure I actually have it on transparent on gradient line. So I'm going to remove those tabs away from here. Move the steps away from here. So once I have the steps removed away from there, this is what I'm going to do. Right now I'm going to hold on this. I'm going to change the color now to this color, this type of color. Here I have that. So what we're going to do right now is just to come right here and actually reduce this. From the top is getting to fade. Then when we get to the bottom right here, it's actually going to fade, but not to fade as much as we have it right in the part of it. So I'm going to fade this one, still fade it. I'll still fade it, and the brightness of this one is going to be on 70. I can actually still reduce the brightness. So right now it's fading down to the top level. I can actually make sure I duplicate it and actually make sure it's a little bit closer to each other. Okay, fine. So we're gonna hold control and actually make sure we select them all both. And I'm gonna go to the top level right here, align, and I'm gonna align top. That is beautiful. And what I'm gonna do next is just to make sure I have them grouped together. I'm gonna group them together right here. And as I have them grouped, I'm gonna hold on my control and make sure I select them all. Select and actually make sure I distribute them the way I really wanted it. So now, fine. So this is where we're going to be needing that particular selection or select object right here. I'm going to actually make sure I have it all selected. So we have it all selected. I'm going to go right here and actually make sure I actually make it go to the top level. We have it all to the top level. I'm going to go again and make sure we have it some kind of distribute horizontally, and this is what we have right here. So what we're going to do, I'm going to actually make sure I actually select this escape and actually go here. And what I'm going to do right now is just to make sure I bring this to the top. So bring it into the front. So here I have my grid line on it. and I love it. So this is exactly how I actually created my grid line. So I want to see it on full screen and see what we've just created. So on a full screen, this is what we've just gotten, fading from the top down till we get right here, and it's a little bit brightened. So this is the kind of effect we want to actually get on this right here, and you want to make sure you have this selected, and always make sure when you right click on it and you bring this back to front. So now it's in the front level as we have actually done it before. And the next thing we're gonna actually now is the cut center, and the cut center is very simple. We just have to make sure we duplicate this as usual. Once we have it copied, we have this right here pasted. So I'm going to paste it right here, and we bring the cut center right on it. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to make sure I move it down to this end. So bring it up, bring it down a little bit, and turn on the field lists. So here we have it. So we just going to go right here and just, you would see you have the cut center right here. You bring it and you take the designation off. And for the cut center, this is what we're going to have. Do we have it as a cut center? Yes, of course, a cut center. Want to have something nicely on it. So we just go insert and we go right on this and we hit this. So this is what we need. So we're going to be using this grid line we have right on the cut center. I'm going to actually make sure I have it selected and actually bring it down a little bit. And actually we're going to take this right there, actually format it the way we really wanted it. So we're going to take this and hide it off. We don't want to say it. So I'm going to take this off again. So right now we can actually cut this away from here and actually take it to a dash, but we Control V to have it pasted right here. And if we still have this, we can actually go ahead and deselect this because we don't want to see this right now. So we can bring it right here. This is our cut center. So right now what we need to do is just to have it on full screen. So have it on full screen so we can see what we're doing rightly. So we bring it on right here, and I'm going to actually reduce it a little bit so we can see the full screen itself. So we actually launch it to the top level. So we bring it down and we make sure it aligns right here. And that we do this again. Okay, fine. So what we're gonna do right now, just double click on it and actually make sure you format it the way you really wanted. So we remove a whole grid line. Oh, we don't take the grid lines out, but we're just gonna actually reduce the grid line a little bit. So for the grid lines, we just have to make sure we select some kind of darker color. And it's so once we've done that, we just move it a little bit, and it shows very dimly. Now we have to select this, and once we have that selected, what we're going to do right now is just for we to go to the gradient fill. We select it and we have this gradient fill, but it's not like the way we really wanted it. So what we need to do right now is just to change the positioning right here, and what the position that we need is this particular type of position. And here we go, we have what we needed. I'm going to select this and actually bring the data label right on top of it. So let's see if we have it correctly. And what we're going to do right now is just to bump up what we just bump up the color of these particular data labels we have right there. So bring it something that is going to actually show so fine. I think I love this. So rightly, we can actually come right here and play around with this as well. Data label that is peculiar to this, and we turn it on and come right here and go ahead and select the same color we have for the previous one, and here we go nicely. I think we are almost done with this tutorial beautifully. We are actually on the right part of it. So right now we're going to put it on 100%. So we put it on 100%. I'm going to actually have to pause it. So right now we give it a full screen. I always love to put it on full screen. Just go right here. Okay, it's on full screen right now. So we're going to move it and see what we have and compare what we have right here. Now we don't need this any longer. I'm going to take it out. So compare what we have right here and go back to the dashboard we are replicating, the previous one we've created, and see what we just have right here as well. The only difference right now is those buttons we have right here and the chart we've not actually created that we're going to be creating right now. That is actually different and all this part right here. So this is beautiful. I love you guys to stay by me all to this end. If you're still right here, all you just got to do to support this channel to make it grow is for you to hit the subscribe button. That is the only beautiful thing you can do to make me happy to keep creating so many videos for you every single time. Okay, right now, thank you very much for watching. Stay blessed, stay out of trouble. In the next tutorial, we're going to be taking care of the chart, of the search we have right here that actually powers the information we have right here about our employees and stuff like that. So thank you very much for watching. Stay blessed, stay out of trouble, and all that. So if you see here, we just got to change this right now. I'm so sorry for that. We have to change the right color to right, and actually I'm going to change to this color. And right now we have our color completed. So right now, thank you very much for doing this with me. I'm gonna go right now and check out the next video right here, which is the third video. And if you've not watched the fourth video, you just going to have to watch that. Thanks a lot.